Good afternoon, everybody. I first want to thank you, Chandelle, for hosting this and inviting us. And this is an important issue, and it is so important that all the people out here, all the important people to our community felt it was that important that they show up and talk about it as well. So, gun violence in Providence right now is at an all-time high. We have 15 homicides already. 18. Can't even thank you, Lisa. That's right there is the Guardians. And you know, her and Cedric, the Nonviolence Institute, we're grateful for them, but I can tell you this, their job is not fun and it's not easy. But we're grateful, and this amount of homicides has doubled at this time last year where we were. I think it was 6. So it's a problem, it's serious, and I think that it's time for our elected officials and our people of influence in our community to put their money where their mouth is. By no means am I trying to absolve our participation in this catastrophe. I'm not saying that we are not responsible for the disaster that we find ourselves in that has been going on for so long. But what I am saying is that it is time for the people that we elected and put into office to do what we asked them to do, to actually do it. I'm sick and tired of them using the gun violence in our city and violent crimes as a political football to attract voters. And it's a political jockeying amongst the elected officials and those who want to be, see who comes out on top. But for the people of color, the war doesn't stop when the polls close. The war continues. It continues. The madness continues on and on and on and on, and we are left to our own devices, and we're doing everything that we can here on the ground to keep ourselves above water, with no help from the people who have the power to render the assistance that we need so desperately. So make no mistake about it, this is something that has to be a collective effort. We have to continue to put the pressure on these people. We cannot do this alone. We have to not only highlight what the problem is and the issues, but we have to offer the solutions. So when we say defund the police, which is a loaded term, right? We don't mean abolish the police by any means. But what we do mean, of course, is to root out all the bad apples, all those who are indifferent to police violence and police corruption, and to hold them accountable across the board. We don't need more cops in our communities. We don't need more money for the police. Okay? What we need to do is reimagine policing in our communities. And what that means is a reallocation of funding. We need to fund our communities. We need to give them alternatives to the poverty and the desperation that is causing these numbers in homicides to escalate and violent crimes. So we talk about social programs to address things like mental health, substance abuse, homelessness. These things, those are the things that we need to focus on. These programs that are funded by the government and facilitated by local municipalities. These are the things we need to focus on. Improve education in the urban core. Access to after-school programming, universal pre-K. These are the things that we need. We need workforce development. We need real jobs, expanded real jobs, and pathways to opportunities in the African American community. That is what we need, all right? And so until we get that, we're going to keep raising the alarm. We're going to keep sounding the alarm and ringing the bell, because this is not something that is going to be tolerated. We're not going to accept our people, young, of color, desperate and hopeless, deciding that their only answer is to pull out a gun and end somebody's life. That's it for them. There is no coming back from that. Or the families that have to deal with that. So we're not going to continue to act like this is business as usual and gloss over it. This is what we're going to do. We're going to keep the pressure on. I thank all the people out here who felt it was important enough to come out here and spend their time. And so last, I just want to say that let us all remember that the opposite of poverty is not wealth, but it is instead justice. Thank you.